Hey guys, welcome back to This African Perspective. Thank you for stopping by. So we are going to be checking out this video about renting, and we are going to be seeing how expensive and how some people's rent actually literally rise beyond what it was originally while they live in that place. And we know that right now with the cost of living, things have really become very expensive. And if your rent keeps going up while you're actually living with a fixed income, that is very terrible for you, because like while the rent was what it was, but when you were paying it in the beginning, all of a sudden, you had to fix your budget to go in line with it. But then when you have to change it now, it's something that is very, very strange, financially challenging for a lot of people. And that is a problem we're dealing with. There's literally no rent control. Most landlords just feel like they can do whatever they want to do. And it is a big problem that's one of the it's a big problem we're dealing with in the society right now. Well, we're going to be checking out this rant video about people complaining about the rent and how their rent went up from what it was. And yeah, so that's it. Let's get right into this video, guys.
When you see your neighbors, moving out, that's a red flag. I wasn't even paying attention until now, and now I get why I see the neighbors moving out. So yeah, like over the last few months or so, I've been seeing my neighbors move out, like slowly. I'm not paying attention. I'm like, okay, that person's gone. Every time I look outside, it's like furniture outside. I'm like, why look like everybody moving out? Months go by, I'm not paying attention. People still moving out. And we have different floors, so ain't no telling who moved out or why. So then, like maybe 3 weeks ago, another neighbor on my floor moved out. So I'm like, okay, the only reason why I paid attention was because he had nice furniture. I'm like, dang, that's nice. I saw him and the guy moving all his stuff out, not paying attention. But then last week, the neighbor across the hall from me moved out, not paying attention. I'm like, they leaving too. So now that I was telling y'all about the rent increase. Now that I'm looking at this paperwork and looking at the rent increase, I'm like, the rent done went up a lot of money in the last year. Y'all know everything is high. We all understand that. But the rent in this building has went up tremendously. And now I'm putting two and two together. Like, people are literally moving out because this rent for these units are way too expensive. And that's actually pretty sad. Now I'm thinking about moving. Like, the rent is going up, but the quality of these apartments and houses are not going up. Like, literally right now, I have things in my apartment that needs to be fixed that I told these people about. When y'all remember when they was doing my floors, they broke my table. Did they replace my table yet? And, oh no, we're going to do it. Didn't replace my table, but they taking my rent up. And it's just so heartbreaking that, like, how bad things are right now. And I wasn't even paying attention to why everybody was moving out. And now I'm about to be one of them people, because this is sad, man. Like, how much are we going to have to pay to live in this world? Let's be for real.
Is it just me, or are all the affordable apartments scams and the rest of them are over 2K no matter where you look in LA? I work on the west side, so I need to be close. I hate driving. And then I was like, well, let me just see what it looks like prices, what they look like in the valley, because my family's there. Why is a 500 square foot studio in Van Nuys $1,900? $2,300. I feel like landlords think we all work in tech. I feel like I'm going crazy trying to find an affordable apartment. I live in the smallest apartment possible, which is why I pay I still think it's high rent. I pay $16.75. But because I'm in the west side, that's actually unfortunately an affordable price. And absolutely everything that's available right now is like $1,900 and above. And the $1,900 ones are like carpeted apartments, which I can't have because I have a pet. Ugly as hell and tiny as hell. Like 200, 300 square foot. Like, you cannot live. Like, that should be against the law. Like, you can barely fit a bed in that space. And the affordable housing around here will say, oh, you gotta make less than $88K a year, and it's still $2,023 a month for a 500 or 400 square foot studio.
There should absolutely be rent caps. Rent should be lower. Rent is insane.
I got a survey from my new property manager yesterday, and it was basically just like, tell us how we're doing. Not gonna lie, I was a little afraid to be honest on it, but like, fuck it, what are they gonna do, kick me out? So I did it, and one of the questions on there was like, do you think what you pay for your apartment is fair? And like, list the reasons why or why not. And I was like, Yeah, no. First of all, no basic one-bedroom apartment should cost $2,000 or more. And then I continue on to tell them why, on top of that, why this apartment is just not even close to worth what I'm paying. Like, you see these windows? And you see this Snuggie or whatever the fuck I'm wearing? Yeah, that's because these windows let in so much cold air that, like, our apartment freezes. We cannot put our heat above 73, but it stays on 73 all winter long. But then you get mornings like this where you have to put on really comfy clothes and stay all snugly and warm because your apartment is 65 degrees. If not colder, because I don't believe that thermostat. Not to mention, it's way worse in the bedroom. And speaking of the bedroom, when it gets hot in there in the summertime, this little AC can't get in there. So we sweat tits all summer long. There's also a fan in the bathroom that is supposedly fixed, even though we've had maintenance over at least twice to fix it. And it's just still blowing mold just all over the bathroom. Totally worth $2,000 a month. I also figured I'd throw in there that when a plumber came into my apartment, last year? He told maintenance that in all of his days working in plumbing, he's been up and down the East Coast and he's never seen plumbing as bad as the plumbing in my building. Awesome! I only have 500 characters, so that's about as far as I could go. Obviously, that's not even remotely the last issue that this apartment has. Yet I predict that my rent will still somehow go up for next year, even though this new property management group is just sowing chaos across this complex. Because let me tell you, I went into the leasing office to deal with a rent issue because paying rent is now not easy with this new system that they implemented. And yeah, I wasn't the only person there to complain and be like, what the fuck is going on?
I just know I cannot be the only person that after I pay my rent, like, because I wait to the very last minute. I'm going to pay on the 5th at 11:59 to be exact, just in case anything changed. But after I pay my rent, I need like 48 to 72 hours before I'm bothered, because I'm instantly irritated. As soon as I press make payment, I'm irritated. Yes, I'm irritated. And I stay at home. I get my money's worth. I'm in the house all the time. But god damn, everything just so high now. So when I pay my rent now, I'm just like, god damn, I hope I don't need nothing for a little while. Example, I'm in Taco Bell right now. I got one taco and a small Sprite. $8 fucking. Either I'm just cheap as fuck or life is just so high. It's high. Like the crackheads you see on the corner.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had any 2 bedrooms available.
Yes, ma'am. We have some ready for move-in as early as Monday.
Alright, and how much do those go for?
$1,525 to $1,875.
How does it go from 1,500 to 1,800?
Depending on the phase that you apply for.
Okay, so like the older ones and the newer ones.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Alright, thank you. Well, now I know that it's raised for everyone, but that's ridiculous. That is way too much. And they're just raising the prices around here to get as much basic housing allowance from the military as possible, because we're right outside the base, and it only used to be 1,300 here. So why is it different now? People with money need more money, I guess. I guess that's what life is now. So I'm going to be looking for a new apartment soon. I'm already picking places where I want to live, and I'm going to have to get a different job. I'm going to have to uproot and just go, because it's too expensive here, and that's my plan.
Can someone explain to me how these apartment complexes expect anyone to be able to pay rent?
Hi, I'm a real estate agent that focuses on multifamily housing, and here's how you find cheap rent. Number one, stop looking on apartments.com and Zillow. That's going to be where you'll find all of the corporate-owned apartment complexes. Usually what they've done is either they built it themselves, so their costs are already high, or they purchased it from someone else, so their costs are high, and rents are going to be much higher because they're trying to make their investment back. Instead, what you want to do is you want to look on 3 places. One, the newspaper is going to have classifieds, cheap rent there. Chamber of Commerce, that every town has a rent list, and Craigslist. I know, scary. As long as you're not trading blowjobs for rent, should be fine. Okay. Those are going to be you dealing with a person who usually inherited a house or renting it out, or someone renting out like a spare bedroom. So it'll be a little bit cheaper and you're dealing with a real person.
You can also check out Facebook Marketplace. There are a lot of people that said they found their apartment by checking the Facebook Marketplace, and they actually found a lot of, individual landlords that had like a good price that wasn't very ridiculous like most of all those corporations. It is so hard to actually find normal individuals that just like normal landlords that have all these apartments if you want to rent a place. Why? Because now those greedy corporations just want to buy up all the places. They are so glad to buy it all. I saw someone who actually wanted to sell her house for a certain amount of money, and she said of course she found people who actually wanted to increase it and pay her more than she asked for. And guess who it is? It's definitely a corporation trying to do that so they can rack up all the prices. All of them, it's almost as if they came together and made a discussion and say, let us increase the price, because if it's all high everywhere, then they don't have a place to run away to. They can't say, oh, let's just go and rent a place from this person because it's cheaper. And if it's normal individuals that own all those houses or apartments, they have more sympathy. They will be more understanding of how humans are. All these corporations, they act like they are not humans. The owners, the CEOs, they're so wicked and just continuously just want us to keep suffering and struggling financially and have nothing. I don't know how far they want to keep going, because it's almost as if they cannot stop. Their greed has no limits. It's almost as if they want to push everyone to actually get to the point where people fight, or people are getting to the point where there's like a civil war, or people are actually going out protesting. Protesting does not even do anything, because if you guys are holding all these billboards and you're complaining or talking about things like that, it doesn't work. At the end of the day, we all know that mostly these corporations, they take money so seriously, so the only place you can hurt them is from their pocket. Talking or carrying all these billboards, I've never seen that as a way or method in which you can get something done, because we don't see them when they want to increase our rent prices or increase our cost of living. They don't carry billboards in their hands and walk around and say, hey, we're about to increase it, we're going to increase the rent. They don't do that.
What does the American government think is going to happen if rent prices continue to increase and our salaries are not increasing with it? Genuinely, what do they think is going to happen?
In my opinion, the government knows exactly what's going to happen, and it's all by design. As more and more people are unable to afford rent, unable to afford bills, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to A, become homeless, or B, commit a crime to get by. And that's exactly what they want. In most states in this country, it's illegal to be homeless. You can't just be out on the street homeless. You have to be in a shelter, but shelters are at like the maximum capacity everywhere right now. We all know that committing a crime is obviously illegal and you go to jail, and that's what they want. They want you to be in jail. And I know you might be thinking, like, what the hell sense does that make? They use slave labor in prisons across this entire country. Makes billions of dollars a year for all different industries across this country. Okay? And those same corporations are the ones that determine what items are in the store for you to buy, how much you pay for them, how much you're making from your job, the housing market, how much you're paying on average for rent. They control everything, including the politicians that they lobby to get into office. They said that right now there are about 1 million homeless and unhoused people in America. There are 15.1 million vacant homes. Does that sound like we should have a homeless problem? No, it doesn't. They said it'll cost $20 billion to fix the homeless problem in this country. We just gave $17.1 billion to Israel since October. That's your tax money. If we can't see by now that the government is raw dogging the fuck out of all of us, I mean, we ain't never gonna get it, bro.
If you're having problem with paying rent anywhere, I have a resource that may help you. But before I get into what I'm gonna talk about, is please follow, share this information with anybody you know that's having trouble with rent. It's called an eviction diversion program. I didn't even know this was part of the CARES Act. A friend of mine is in my complex is having issues, and so I called the city because I know people at the city, and they told me that this was this program. But you must, and it's a county program, So it's through your state and county, and they get grant funds. And what they do, they can pay up to, I believe, 13 months of rent. Of rent payments. And the money is dispersed county-wise, and then there's nonprofits that disperses this money. And they will pay your landlord directly if your landlord accepts the money. You have to call 211 and specifically ask for the eviction diversion program. They're just not going to give it out, and I hate that they do this. This was a pilot program back in June of last year, but it's still ongoing if you still have trouble paying rent. I wasn't going to make this video initially because I wanted to see if they would get it, but then when I researched it, I'm like, wait a minute, this is across the country and it's part of the CARES Act. So you know what, like this year, help a person out. And it's one thing we really don't do much on this app is help people out, and I try my best to help people out. So pass this information on.
I just want to remind everybody that if you call your apartment complex and you let them know that you are about to start this job and all you got is this offer letter, I swear to God, you fixing to get that apartment. Do your research though, you know what I'm saying? You pick a high-end apartment, you might have to really tweak your numbers. You may have to, do certain things, because I don't know if y'all know this, but some apartments don't run an offer letter through Snap. That's how I'm getting mostly approved people, because a lot of times people are getting offer letters. Offer letters are the new thing because Snap is starting to crack down. It's starting to crack down a lot. And to let y'all know, honestly, these fake pay stubs is not going to work forever, because they're creating something else that's stronger than Snapped. Okay? Yeah, and I'm going to figure out what it's called, and I'm going to let y'all know. So if y'all like this, follow me, you know what I'm saying? Give me a like, email me for Snap.
Finally old enough to get up out from under my mom, to get up out of this house. I'm 19, I'm grown, I can go and be an adult now. I can do whatever I want to do. I don't even have to go to school if I don't want to, right? Or I can, the world is my fucking oyster. I can do whatever I want to do. Hello, ma'am, how you doing? Yeah, I'm 19 years old. I just wanted to get an apartment.
Welcome to Georgia. You need proof of Georgia residency.
Well, I didn't know that I needed.
You need to make 17 times the rent.
How much do I have to make?
$17,000, ma'am.
I just moved to a new state. I just recently graduated high school.
Do you have a 7.0 GPA?
Well, but my credit is good.
Our credit requirement is $9,000. Sign this paperwork right here.
What kind of paperwork?
2017 tax info on your social.
It didn't say that online.
Ma'am, our site does not reflect the business in any way.
Okay, but do I, all right. Do I get, an outside area where I can, go and get some fresh air and everything like that?
You get 4 windows, 2 don't open.
Can I at least have my dog with me?
Yes, ma'am. $300 deposit and $300 dog rent.
For the dog?
Yes, and our breeds are restricted to cats only.
Okay. Well, can I have, friends over, family over? Can I have, a get-together or something, if I want to?
As long as it's between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m.
Understandable.
Anything after that, the police will be called and you will be fined $500.
Okay.
Because it is illegal to congregate in public spaces.
All right, well, I'm going to go get a job, and once I get a job down here, I'm going to come back to you, and I'm going to make sure that we get everything situated.
Damn it.
All right, thank you. Hey, I'm back. I was able to get a job, so I have some check stubs for you and everything like that. Just got them for you right here.
It says here you make $800 a month, ma'am. You need $17,000. You're broke.
Okay.
You don't make enough. You need a cosigner.
All right, so, okay, fine. Then I'll just call my mom and I'll get someone to co-sign on it. How about that? That works? All right. Hey, Mom, I just need someone to co-sign on this lease for me. Yeah, I'm too young and I don't have the right paperwork. Okay, thanks. So my mom said she'd co-sign on my lease with me.
All right, well, tell her to walk in.
She doesn't live in this state.
Well, I'm going to need proof of address for Georgia for you and her.
Okay.
And proof that she's working in Georgia. Also, every time you come in, it's $125. Just for the conversation. Rent does not include any utilities or any other things, including maintenance or anything like that. It's a beautiful gated community, but the gate doesn't work. We're also going to change your rent price every month.
Mom,
I'm going to need renter's insurance.
I'm just going to come back.
But if you get food stamps, you're not getting approved.
Okay.
Rent is so expensive that minimum wage workers need 3 roommates or 4 jobs to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. In fact, there's not a single state in America where a minimum wage worker that's full-time can afford a 2-bedroom apartment. So look at this for example. If you live in Alabama where the minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, you'd have to work 90 hours a week to afford a 2-bedroom. Now you would need to work 74 hours a week to afford the average 1-bedroom apartment in Alabama at the minimum wage. So someone explain to me why we're pretending that workers are the problem when it's the corporations that are arbitrarily pushing up prices on rent, food, laying off workers, all to maximize their profits. Like, how is this system that we're currently living in sustainable?
Let's see. All you need is first month, which is $700, plus a deposit of $350. Yeah, that works for me. Thank you. Let's see. All you need is your first month, which is $950, plus your deposit, which is another $950. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can still do that. Thank you. I'm going to need my notepad for this one, but here's what you're going to need. You're going to need 3 times the rent, which is going to be $2,300. You're going to need a deposit of $2,300. Let's see. You're also going to need a credit score of 750, no exceptions. You're going to need to have no evictions in the last 10 years. But wait, I'm not finished. There will be no pets allowed. Application fee non-refundable, which is $75 per adult. There's going to be a late fee of $50 per month. There's a $35 transaction fee. There is a fee to the fee of $25. Yeah, no, apparently I can't afford it. So I'm going to stay with my parents who purchased that house in 1980 for $42.30. So thank you.
Can we talk about renting apartments in 2024? Because I just want to talk about it for a second. I'm currently living at home as a 27-year-old because my last landlord died and then I had to come home. It was a whole thing. Anyway, my friend and I are currently looking at apartments and my God, is this shit a joke? Would like to preface this by saying I live in Massachusetts, so this is what it's like here, okay? First of all, you're quite literally not getting a halfway decent 2-bedroom apartment for less than $2,500 a month. Which, fine, whatever, but like, the rent's not even the worst part because it's like, oh, you wanted in-unit laundry? Oh, that's cute. That'll be your firstborn child. Oh, you wanted a parking space to come with that apartment? Are you out of your mind? Oh, you thought a single utility was gonna be included in that rent price? Girl, you're crazy. Oh, so you want to apply for this apartment? Great. You're going to have to put down first month of rent, last month of rent, security, broker's fee, an application fee, a pet fee, a breathing fee.
Honestly, we're not going to ignore the fact that this rent is very high, because the reason why we're complaining and saying the rent is high is actually comparing it to what people are getting in their paycheck every month. And it's like what we're getting, if you think about it, you're taking a huge chunk of your paycheck to pay rent all the time. Consistently, you're paying it every month, again and again. Or let's say maybe you have a mortgage, you're paying all those huge amounts of money. And then at the end of the day, the rest actually goes into other bills, the utility bill, other things. And then what are you left with? It's like you're working to just continuously pay this rent. At least can we have something at the end of the day? Can we have some huge chunk at least remaining in our account? Can we do other things for ourselves? Like, we are not even given the opportunity to be able to do other things. These corporations, all of them are just, being greedy, taking a whole lot of money from our account all the time. We have to pay them, and then nothing is being done about the rent. I tell you, whenever I see or hear or watch videos about people talking about how much their rent is and how it just consistently keep increasing from what it was all the time, like every time they need to renew their lease, it's a lot. They're paying so much. And it's like, why? What has changed in that apartment? Why is it like this? Nothing has changed. It's just them saying it's inflation. Time has changed. Like, we just feel like we could increase it this much. And that is why it's almost as if all of them just came, like all these corporations. That is why they are so glad to actually be buying up all the houses. That's the end of this video, guys. Thank you for watching this video to the end. I really appreciate you all. Let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think about this video? And also, please don't forget to click the like button. It really helps with the algorithm. Please, 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 please. I appreciate it so much. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.